Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Ian Parkinson, and I'm pleased to have with me again Larry Mathieson, who's the Chief Executive Officer of Unison Advisor Centre. Welcome back, Larry.
Thanks for having me again, Ian.
So, we're into Seniors Expo month.
Yes, it's actually kind of an exciting month for us because it's something that historically we've done, well, literally for decades. But it is actually a way for us to showcase some of the services and supports and businesses that are focused towards older adults. And so it's a bit of a fundraiser for us, but it's also a service to our users and our members as well.
Well, and it's a broad service too. I mean, you've everything from wills and estate planning through counselling, through fraud, prevention. Yeah. I mean, the Viner Centre is a busy place.
It is a busy place, and it's a fairly, it's a very, very diverse set of interests, I suppose. Right. And so, we have our members who are interested in, their investments and their planning for their estate. We have other seniors who the financial supports we provide are much more basic. We just kind of came out of tax season, which is actually, it's not our favorite time of year, but it is. Like in Alberta, between Calgary and Medicine Hat, we'll do over 5,000 returns for seniors who have restricted incomes.
Wow. And
historically, we've tracked what type of refunds we've got for people, and last year it was over $1 million. I can't remember exactly what it was, but some of our stakeholders, some of our financial supporters in those programs have asked us, they say, well, you have Service Canada and you have CRA present on site when you're doing this, and what about the people that you help them set up for government benefits like CPP and OAS and stuff like that. And so this year we tracked benefits received as well as refunds, and so that number is much more amazing. Like for the last couple of years when we've been getting older adults over $1 million, that's one thing, but this year it's over 11 million of refunds and benefits that we've helped seniors access. And that's Calgary and Medicine Hat, but it's a real great service for us to be able to offer, for sure.
Well, that's a big chunk of change that somebody was entitled to and didn't ask for.
It is a lot, and when you count the additional benefits, we every year we see older adults who come and they say, well, I haven't done my taxes for 10 years. Oh. And it's like, well, you haven't done your taxes for 10 years. And those cases are they're a little bit of work for sure, but you have people who are really leaving things on the table that they don't know that they're leaving on the table. So inevitably, I think we have a lot of happy people leave after realizing, oh, I'm eligible for all these things. And again, a lot of the whether it's kind of a discounts or special programs that either the municipality or the province or whoever is offering, you usually have to have last year's tax return done.
Yes.
And so that is one of the big reasons we do it. But actually, one of the interesting things this year, Food Banks Canada is a supporter of Unison. And they support our food rescue and food security type programs. But this year they actually provided us a grant so that we could do more taxes. And it's for them, they know that if more older adults get their taxes done, they are less likely to be in food insecure situations. And so that was an interesting, I didn't inherently guess that might be the case, but they've become an interesting financial stakeholder this year.
Oh, well, they did, because I would never have thought about it either. But now that you mention it, I mean, if the government knows now you exist, then they can send you the paraphernalia for, hey,
Yeah.
you're entitled to,
Yeah.
whereas, and I can see, if somebody hasn't done their taxes for 10 years, there's a lot of emotional baggage tied to it.
Sure.
But I also recall the Premier, Daniel Smith, has said more than once in different venues that I believe it was somebody in the Medicine Hat Hospital couldn't be placed because he hadn't had his taxes done in 3 or 5 years. And so she got one of her staff to get a hold of somebody from maybe the Unison Viner Centre or somewhere, got all his taxes done, got him all up to date, and boom, he moved to a nursing home and opened an acute care bed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's kind of an interesting series, kind of like a series of dominoes that you wouldn't necessarily expect, I suppose.
So if you're not sure your taxes are done, show up at the Unison at Viner Centre.
Show up or give us a call, and for sure.
Well, like I said earlier, I mean, you have a local lawyer offering wills and estate planning.
Yeah.
And then which can be a daunting prospect for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. Like May at Viner Center is all about wellness and mental health.
Yeah.
And when I think of what we've gone through lately, what all of us have gone through, the thing that affects my mental health, I think most, is seeing my retirement fade away and come and go. And so this month, actually, we have actually 2 sessions in the month on estate planning and your investments. And so the sessions, you have to register for them. So call us or go online, but they're free, but they fill up fast.
Yes.
But we are trying to position either more financial investment professionals or lawyers to help us do presentations for older adults who inevitably are worried about, what does this mean for my retirement?
Well, especially with the present unstable economic climate with our friends from the south.
Yes, for sure.
If you're not sure, call the Viner Centre. For
sure. And there's more coming down the pipe as well. We have some people who've generously donated their time or are agreeing to do it in coming months as well. So for sure.
So how are the bus tours coming?
The bus tours went great last year.
Yeah.
And so we have, I'm almost afraid to stay. I know Erin at the center is, I think she's got something lined up for every month this year, kind of going forward. And we had, I don't know how many trips we did to Rosebud, but I think the trips, we had 2 buses, and Spruce Meadows, we did the Christmas market, and that was like 3 buses, and every trip exceeded our expectations, and they're just a fun thing to do. Like it's for us, creating opportunities for connection, for people being together. But a lot of our users of both centers, they're not usually in a space where, like, let's say they've lost a partner or a spouse. Yeah. They're not saying, hey, I should drive up to the Spruce Meadows Christmas thing, or I should go to Jasper or whatever. But when you ask, it's like, hey, a bunch of us are going to Rosebud or to this. It's like, yeah, I'm in, because it is a no sweat event kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about parking or getting lost or.
Yeah.
And the socialization too. I mean, you're on a bus with anyway, 45, 50-ish people, number of people on a bus.
Yeah, it's, and 3 buses adds up pretty quick, but.
That's a lot of bodies.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit of a challenge for places like Rosebud, but Spruce Meadows is pretty big, and so we do have a group of volunteers who just specializes in this, and that's kind of what they're working on is unique experiences, and like I said last month, we're looking at more out of the city, out of the province, out of the country type trips, and we have some interesting partners there as well.
Out of the country.
Yeah, last month or a month before, we were talking about Alaska cruise. We've decided that given the current political situation, maybe we'll look at Caribbean, Mexico, something like that. We're also looking at a St. Lawrence tour. I can't remember what they call them, the smaller cruises, but yeah, there's some interesting things coming down the pipe there for sure.
Well, the St. Lawrence cruise, I mean, that whole place is steeped in Canadian history.
For sure. It's an interesting, I would say a lot of Canadians would say it rivals some of those Eastern cruise tours for sure.
Does the Unison group, are you just restricted to Alberta? Or do you have like connections or partnerships with similar organizations across the country? I'd never thought to ask before.
Some of the things we do, we actually have international partners. And so, for example, Meals on Wheels is an international organization. And so we can tap into, people in Illinois or Los Angeles or whatever. And so there's some connections that we can leverage. Provincially, there's the senior serving sector. There's a lot of interconnections that we rely on for, best practices and program design and those type of things. And locally, given that it's Mental Health Month, Medicine Hat Family Services provides every second Thursday. They provide counseling, 1 hour counseling sessions from 9 to 5 kind of thing. And so, a lot of what we do, we rely on our partners, both local and far away kind of thing.
So it's a multifaceted organization.
We like to think so.
Well, they're not necessarily all facets of your organization, but you're a part of a larger.
If you plotted on a heat map how many people use our programs, most of them would circle around Medicine Hat or Calgary. But since COVID, we've started to do a lot more streamed and online, and inevitably, somebody from the UK or somebody from Africa or somebody, from someplace in the States will kind of get access to our registration and participate in kind of our online. We also have donors from all over. There's, you get a donation online out of Vancouver and you think, well, how did that happen? But it's probably related to some of the stuff we stream for sure.
Oh, very interesting, because I was speaking with the superintendent of the Medicine Hat Catholic School Board yesterday, and they found since COVID that there are some families are using their online education programs because their parents work internationally. So their children can. So there are some good things starting to come out of COVID. We're not just overwhelmed with all the negativity now.
I know for our organization, it really pushed us to do things that we probably wouldn't have done otherwise.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, I don't think you could talk to anybody in Medicine Hat and in the center, and they would say, hey, we prefer Zoom. Shut down what you're doing here. We want to do Zoom. People want to be connected. They want to be in the center. They want to be doing kind of the interesting things. But the thing I think COVID taught us is we can actually connect with people more frequently and for longer if we do both.
Well, I think that's the thing. I think most people prefer the face-to-face personal contact. Yeah. But if they're just having an off day or the vehicle is broken down, they can still be a part of it through Zoom. Yeah. So it's balancing the whole operation.
Yeah.
Which doubles the size of your delivery program.
It does, and our average member, I suppose, they come to a point where they give up their car or they don't want to drive anymore or whatever. And historically, that would be the last we might hear from them. Whereas now we have people that they've been participating in a particular fitness program, and we also maybe offer that online. And it's kind of like, well, I'm still going to do the online program. And so we definitely see some of that where we're probably connected to people for a few more years than we would have been, kind of thing.
And it's a connection 5 years ago we would never have thought of.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Anything else going on?
You know, given May, you know, I mentioned Medicine Hat, family services, and mental health. You know, counselors and therapists are great for that. But I think we do a lot of things at Viner that are good for your mental health that don't involve somebody with a master's degree. And this month we have a lot of kind of art and painting and those type of things. And so for Mother's Day, for example, we have Painter Girl is doing a session where, you know, we're kind of advising, hey, if your mother's, you know, in the Viner Center kind of age range, but you're, you know, you're kind of making sure she gets access to the community.
Right.
Why don't you come to this event and do the paint workshop? So this month the team is trying to put more craft programs out there, just because they're fun ways to you know, help
because
people
you're
wellness.
painting rocks and flowers and various other ones, and the weather outside is certainly beautiful now.
Yeah. Well, and right now we're starting to access that patio a little more frequently.
Yes.
You know, it's a nice, you know, knock on wood and all that. But yeah, for
Are
sure.
you still looking for any volunteers in any particular area?
We always are. I know that the travel program and Meals on Wheels have continued to kind of grow on a monthly basis. So you're always looking for volunteers. One of the things is because we have a lot of older volunteers. I don't know if older is the right word. We do have people that for parts of the year they'll you know, vacation or go to a warmer climate. But and so we're always looking for more volunteers to kind of keep things going, for sure.
If you want to do something but you're not sure, just call the office.
Yeah, or look at the website, for sure.
And I'm sure you'll be very imaginative.
For sure.
All right. Anything else, Larry?
No, I mean, I would just like to thank the residents of Medicine Hat. The volunteer support last year and this year has been amazing. The donor support has been fantastic. We just a little while ago did our March for Meals, and that every year that becomes a little more successful. So that's a good program for us, for sure.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to see you again.
Good to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, my pleasure.